Aloha guys, welcome back to my channel. Mermaid Nina here. Well, I thought I would do, another Genie Plus video. Woohoo! I feel like it's all about Genie Plus these days, right? All right, well, I'm here with my top 10 tips and tricks regarding the whole system, right? Genie Plus, and individual lightning lane. In fact, I've actually typed up an official top 10 tips sheet that I'm sending out to my clients who get Genie Plus, but I thought I would go ahead and give you guys these top 10 tips as well. And I'm gonna mention it a few times, but I already have several Genie Plus videos out there. So if you are still kind of like, Nina, well, what is Genie Plus? Make sure you check out those videos so that you kind of know what I'm talking about. But let's get into it. So the first thing I think that is most important, number one, is you just have to know what everything is. You have to know the terms and what exactly the difference is between these four new things, right? Genie Plus, individual lightning lane, and the lightning lane itself. If you don't know what these terms mean, then you're gonna have to check out my, break it down Genie Plus video or my keeping it simple Genie Plus video, because I really go into what these words are. But I am gonna assume you know what I'm talking about, so we're gonna keep going. Number two on my list is basically you need to learn the system. So it's not just about knowing the terms and knowing the differences of them. I think you really need to explore the app. You need to get out your phone and explore what Genie does. Explore the tip board, see when rides, book up, see the cost of these rides, kind of get an idea of what's going on. Knowing the ins and outs of the app is just gonna help you once you're on vacation. First thing, of course, is tip board. That is my favorite area of the app. That is pretty much where everything is, right? All the wait times, any dining reservations that are still available for you to book. It's an area for you to mobile order. And most importantly, it is the area where you can see what time, your Genie Plus pass could be, or how much your individual lightning lane pass could be. This is how you're like in the moment trying to decide, okay, should we just go to the ride and do standby? Should we go ahead and just get a Genie Plus for this ride? Or if it's a ride that does individual lightning lane, should we just pay for it and get it done? Knowing these things in advance, knowing how to use the system is just gonna give you a leg up. I can't tell you right now how flooded guest services is right now in the parks because people do not know how to use the system. They're getting very confused. There's lots of glitches going on. So you knowing what you're doing or where to find it will help you, I promise. The next thing is My Genie Day. Now, I talked about this in my previous video. My Genie Day is absolutely something you can do. It's on the app, but it appears to be more of Disney directing traffic more than them actually giving you a useful itinerary to follow. So if it was up to me, I would say just go ahead and bypass My Genie Day and not worry about it until Disney fixes that system and actually makes it user-friendly, actually suggests rides that I would want to ride on, then maybe I'll go back to it. But for right now, you really want to focus on tip board. The next thing is future plans. So future plans, they changed the name of it, but basically it's a way for you to see your trip at a glance. So if you have park pass reservations for an entire week, if you have dining reservations for an entire week, it kind of gives you one spot to look at what your current plans are. So you kind of know what your game plan is going forward with your vacation. And of course, if you don't know how to access these things, you want to go on the app and the three dashes in the right-hand side, you want to click on it. The first few things you are going to see is tip board, Genie Day, and future plans. So make sure you kind of, practice and look at those features ahead of time. Number three, the next tip is to just go ahead and add Genie Plus to your package now. Why? Because it's just easier. It cuts down on any glitches. Right now, a whole bunch of people can't even add Genie Plus to their trip because the system is just glitchy. Also, that way you just know it's done. It's already been paid for. It's been added to your bill. You don't have to worry about it. Right now, you get all these passes at 7 a.m. If you have not added Genie Plus to your package, you would have to add Genie Plus each day, one day at a time as you're in the moment, which means instead of just getting up at 6:50, 6:55 to secure those 7 a.m. passes, you would have to get up even earlier so that you can first add Genie Plus to your day. It's just easier to just add it now. Also, something you need to know about Genie Plus is it's been easier to access through Magic Bands and Key to the World cards versus Magic Mobile. So Magic Mobile does have limited functions. So if you are going for a longer trip, I would highly suggest, and you're using Genie Plus, to go ahead and make sure you have a Magic Band or you take the time to get your Key to the World card from your resort, because it's easier to scan with these things than it is Magic Mobile. Number four tip is to, like I said, we're gonna plan ahead. We're gonna look at the app ahead of time, right? But part of that is to also know what rides book up fast so that you know what rides you need to secure at 7 a.m. You don't wanna be there at 7 a.m. fumbling around trying to figure out what rides you're gonna get. You're gonna wanna have a game plan. You're gonna wanna know that Slinky Dog, Rise of the Resistance, and Seven Dwarf Mine Train right now are the first rides to go. And I am talking quickly they're going. Like they're almost gone by 7:10, 7:15. These rides are gone. So you wanna have a game plan and you wanna plan ahead and know which rides you are gonna try to secure on that morning. By planning ahead and looking at the wait times, a week before your trip, glancing at the tip board and seeing kind of a pattern building, that's what's gonna give you a leg up because you won't be shocked. What do you mean Rise of the Resistance is gone at 7:05? You'll already know. So again, all these things kind of go hand in hand, but yes, just know right now that some rides are just gone. If they say that there's no availability, that means they're gone already. That means you're stuck waiting in line. And right now, with it being holiday peak season, I don't know if you want to do that. Number 5, I touched on this a little bit, but just note that everyone everywhere can get Genie Plus passes starting at 7 a.m. So if you want to ride like, say, Slinky Dog, everyone is going to have the chance to get Slinky Dog at 7 a.m. However, individual Lightning Lane passes only start at 7 a.m. for resort guests. So for rides like Rise the Resistance or Seven Dwarf Mine Train, those passes have been going super quickly for resort guests because anyone staying off property or local has to wait till park opening, which means if you are not staying on property right now, there is no way in heck you are getting an individual Lightning Lane for Rise the Resistance. You are gonna be waiting in line. So just kind of know these things ahead of time, kind of know the rules and the regulations, right? So Genie Plus is, the rides are first come, first serve, right? Genie Plus's rides are the next available ride. So you can't plan ahead. You can't think ahead like, oh, at 5 o'clock, I want to ride this. You're going to have to wait until the 5 o'clock ride times start popping up. Otherwise, it is first come, first serve, and it's the next available ride. Individual Lightning Lane, you can go ahead and get those rides right away. You can go ahead and lock those in at 7 o'clock or at park opening, depending on your situation. So as you can see, staying on property is becoming quite beneficial for certain rides. So just know this ahead of time. If you're staying off property and you know your individual Lightning Lane is gone, then you're just gonna have to come up with a different game plan on how you're gonna get on Rise of the Resistance, for example, whether it's riding it super late at night or hoping you can get there at park opening and the line isn't too long. Again, these are things where you plan ahead and you do your research and you look on Tipboard. Number 6, So the perk to these two systems, Genie Plus and individual lightning lane, is that they work together simultaneously. So the best way to maximize your vacation is indeed to purchase both. Genie Plus, covers most of the rides, and individual lightning lane covers the two popular rides at every park that Genie Plus doesn't cover. So when you put the two together, you've got pretty much all of the rides. Now, the best way to maximize and use both of the systems is to know how everything works and understand something called stacking. That is how you stack the passes on top of each other, because each system has their kind of own little rule, right? So, stacking. At 7 a.m., assumingly you're staying on property, right, you can get your Genie Plus pass of the day, your first pass. Get a pass for later on in the afternoon. Perhaps it's for Slinky Dog or some other ride, maybe a coaster, a mountain ride, something that the pass is later on in the afternoon, 2 o'clock, 3 o'clock, whatever. Also at 7 a.m. is you can get your two individual lightning lane passes for the day. Even if you're hopping to a different park, you can still get those two individual lightning lanes, whatever it is. Rise of the Resistance, Seven Dwarf Mine Train, whatever. Go ahead and just get those and lock those in. Once you've secured your two individual lightning lane passes, you're done. You're good for individual lightning lane for the day. Genie Plus, however, has kind of a little rule. Genie Plus, the rule is you can either get one pass at a time, meaning you pass a ride, you ride it. Then you pass another ride and you ride it, right? That's how it works. Or they're saying if you get a pass that's way later in the afternoon, remember we got a pass for like 2 or 3 o'clock in the afternoon, 2 hours after park opening, you can get yet another pass, which means you still have that one pass sitting there that was for 2 or 3 o'clock. At, let's say a park opens at 9, that means at 11 o'clock you can get another pass. So if you get that pass, you scan into that ride, then you can get another pass. Once you've scanned into that ride, you can get another, and you can keep doing the whole process, even though you still have that one 2 o'clock, 3 o'clock ride out here, plus your two individual lightning lanes. So even though the rule was you can only have one ride at a time, they're saying after about 2 hours, if you got a ride that's super late in the day, you can keep stacking and getting additional rides. This is how you are gonna maximize your day. Make sense? Hopefully it does. So of course the goal to stacking is to get the most popular ride, the ride you don't want to wait in line for first, even if it's later in the day. Even if it's like 6 and 7 p.m., go ahead and get it now because that pass could be gone. In fact, if at 7 a.m. you see a ride that's already at 6 or 7 p.m., it will be gone very, very soon. So make sure you secure that pass. And then once that pass is kind of sitting in your account, then you can use the rest of your day to kind of Genie Plus other maybe more little rides or less popular rides. All right, tip number 7 is to basically know the rules. Now, I know I talked about this a little bit already, but knowing the rules and your game plan and all the wait times and all those things are just going to give you a leg up. For example, one of the Genie Plus rules is you can only use a Genie Plus pass on that ride once in that day. So you cannot double dip on Genie Plus passes on the same ride. Okay, great. Why am I mentioning it? Well, I'm mentioning it because it matters. It matters depending on your situation and your plan of attack, so to speak. So for example, let's say you are a family and you have little kids and all your little kitties love Jungle Cruise. Well, at 7 a.m., you could totally pass Jungle Cruise and you can ride it really, really soon as park openings, and then you've used that pass and then you're good. But what if those kitties really want to ride Jungle Cruise again and again? You might not want to pass Jungle Cruise first thing in the morning. You might want to maximize that and ride the ride first by waiting in line. Because waiting in line, the line might be shorter now and longer later. Do you get where I'm going with this? So you want to kind of save your Genie Pass for when the wait time is longer. First thing in the morning, especially if you're a resort guest and you're there half an hour early, you're not going to want to waste a Genie Plus on a ride that's basically walk on or a 20-minute wait. You're going to want to save that Genie Plus pass for when that ride has a super long wait. So for the example of Jungle Cruise, if your kiddies or you just want to ride it multiple times, you might want to wait to pass it later in the day, more like peak of the day, versus first thing in the morning when the wait times are lower. Hopefully this makes sense. Another rule is you need to remember that Genie Plus shows the next available time. So if you're constantly trying to ride something at 5 p.m., but yet it's still 10 a.m., and the ride is, the pass is at noon or 1 o'clock, and, you're just going to have to keep waiting and waiting until that ride hits its 5 o'clock passable time, because you just can't pick and choose. It's the next available time. Also, you're going to want to keep checking, because even though a ride is, passing later in the day and you're thinking, well, I'm leaving early or I have dinner plans, passes do kind of come back. So just keep checking, because you never know what might change. Also, you need to remember that individual lightning lanes is 2 passes max per day. So even if you're hopping and going to all these crazy fun parks in a single day, you can only get 2 of those individual lightning lanes in one day. And yes, I did say hopping. Both of these systems 100% work with hopping. Tip number 8. For all of you out there who are like, you know what, Nina, this all sounds great, but I'm not paying for this. I am not paying for Genie Plus and individual lightning lanes. It's just too much. I get it. So for those of you who just want to save a little bit of money, but still kind of maximize your day, this is my suggestion. Traditionally, when there were fast passes, I would advise guests to save their passes for the high peak times of the day. Your 1 o'clock, 2 o'clock, 3 o'clock, 4 o'clock. And to maximize your day by running to the rides and waiting in shorter wait times first thing in the morning. You can absolutely do this plan with the Genie Plus system. So if you want to totally avoid and not use Genie Plus and individual lightning lane, what you can do is that same traditional system, right? First thing in the morning, get there at rope drop. If you're a resort guest, 30 minutes early, rope drop, and ride all those popular individual lightning lane rides first, waiting in standby. So rather than paying $15 per person or $12 per person or whatever it is, just get to that ride first thing in the morning and get her done. Then all you have to do is get Genie Plus passes for later in the day. So rather than doing both systems, you are still paying for the one system, but at least it's not both. This is how you can kind of maximize that and save a little bit of money. Not everyone wants to do that. Some people want their vacation to be a little bit more leisurely, and they don't want to keep running to rides to, get the short wait time. But for those of you who do, that is still an awesome plan to consider. Tip number 9 is to just not forget that Genie Plus is not just a skip the line system. There are these other features involved with Genie Plus that not everyone is talking about. I especially love these features for teens and kids. When you're in a long line and the kids are getting a little bored, these 2 features are especially helpful in those situations. So remember, if you're gonna purchase Genie Plus, you have also purchased the new PhotoPass AR lenses, which is like a Disney Snapchat, right? There is a new feature on there that allows you to take really cool kind of selfies with, maybe a character on your shoulder or something cool going on in the background that you can be doing while you're waiting in line, while you're waiting for your food or whatever you're doing. The other thing that comes with your Genie Plus passes is audio tales. Now, I especially think my kids will love audio tales. There's a couple of them in every park. In certain sections of the park, a little audio tail will pop up on the map, and if you click on it, you can listen to some audio snippets regarding a certain ride or a certain feature of that park, like say the castle, a little bit of, informative, snippets for you to kind of, give you some information. And I know my kids love hearing all the little informative tips and tricks that Disney has to offer, and I can totally see them running around the park trying to get all the audio tails. So don't forget about those other features as well. Now, I saved tip number 10, especially for the last, because it's a little bit more involved. So tip number 10 is to come with a plan of attack. And I mean this seriously. So once you have done all your research, you've looked on the app, you've figured out your wait times for certain rides, you've purchased your Genie Plus, you're all ready, you want to come up with a game plan. So at 7 a.m., you're not like, what should you pass? What should we pass? You want to come in with a plan of attack. And this matters on what you're doing during the day. Are you hopping? Do you plan on taking a break midday and hopefully going to your resort pool? Or are you off property, or perhaps you're trying to maximize your day and you think you're going to be in the park all day long? Deciding kind of sort of what you're doing that day might change how you do the Genie Plus and individual Lightning Lane passes. For example, if you're hopping, right, and you're only in, say, Park 1 until 2 p.m., and then you're going to hop to park number 2, you're going to want to maximize your day at park number 1, right? So go ahead and get all your Genie Plus passes for first thing in the morning, right away. Just go ahead and get her done. Whatever pass you can get that's at park opening, get that pass, ride it. Get another pass, ride it. Get another pass, ride it. Get all 5, 6 rides that you wanted to do in that park done before 2 o'clock. Pass them and ride them, get everything done. This includes individual Lightning lanes. So if you have a particular ride at that park that you want to ride, get the individual Lightning lane for it at 7 a.m. And since you're hopping and you perhaps have a ride over at that park that you want, go ahead and get your individual Lightning lane for that park as well. Remember, you're only allowed 2 of those individual Lightning lanes. So in this situation, you wouldn't really worry about stacking your passes so much. You would kind of just go in and get as many passes as you can, pass and ride, pass and ride, pass and ride. And then once you hop, you can do the same thing again. Of course, if there is a harder to get ride at your second park, you could choose to stack like we talked about earlier, but this is where you come up with your plan of attack. For those of you who are choosing not to hop, or perhaps you want to stay in the park all day long, you might have a different approach, which means you might want to do that whole rope drop approach, kind of like the old fast pass system, where you are going to basically get to the park as soon as you can, 30 minutes early, whatever, and run to those hard to get rides, run to those popular rides, run to those individual Lightning lane rides, and ride them standby. Just get all those popular rides done as quick as you can. And then Genie Plus all the other rides in the afternoon at peak time. You can go ahead and get the Genie Plus passes, but don't get them for first thing in the morning. Get them for later in the day, kind of so that you can maximize your day, right? So that once 1 o'clock hits and it's been lunchtime, you have passes kind of sitting there waiting for you. Because remember, you can get a Genie Plus pass at 7 a.m., then you can get another pass 2 hours after park opening, and then another pass after that every 2 hours, even if you haven't ridden those rides yet. So you can stack those passes for later in the day. Hopefully this kind of helps and answers some of your questions. I know a lot of you guys have been asking me very specific questions, like if I pass this at this time and then I hop to this park, can I pass this? The best way to kind of answer those questions is to rewatch these videos and kind of understand what I'm saying and look at the wait times and the ride availability like a week before your trip, so you can kind of see a pattern of what's going on. But the key thing here is to remember the rules, because the rules do not change whether you're hopping, whether you're going to the pool, whether you're going to take a nap. The rules don't change, right? You get up to 2 lightning lanes a day, period. Doesn't matter if you're hopping or not, you only get 2 maximum. Get 1 at this park, 1 at this park, get everything at this park, doesn't matter, you only get up to 2. Genie Plus passes, you're kind of unlimited, right? As long as there's availability, you can keep getting passes, as long as you remember that you can't double dip. So if you go ahead, like remember the old fast pass system, you could always fast pass Dumbo, and it's a small world. Those passes were always kind of lingering. If you Genie Plus those passes earlier in the day, and that's all that's left in the evening, you won't be able to pass those rides again. So plan accordingly. Don't waste all your passes first thing in the morning if you're trying to be in the park all day long. Kind of stretch them out and, you know, do some standby lines, right? Especially first thing in the morning. Standby lanes are going to be a lot shorter first thing in the morning and super late at night. They are going to be most crowded midday. So as there's no like right way or wrong way to really do this, it's kind of like the fast pass system. There are plans of attacks and way to kind of organize this to maximize your day. Again, as a travel agent, these are kind of things that I will be helping my clients with. I'm hoping between all my Genie Plus videos, I have answered all of your questions and helped you guys out. If you need me to do a video, another Genie Plus video on a specific part of Genie Plus, please put it in the comments and let me know. But as always, guys, I hope this video helped you out. I hope it explained a little bit more of how you will then use this system. And don't forget, watch my other Genie Plus videos. If you watch this and you have no idea what I'm talking about, the other videos are what you want to watch first, because they will explain what these things are. So then you can then go ahead and get the tips and the tricks. But anyway, guys, I hope I helped you out. If you haven't already, please subscribe to my channel. If the subscribe button is red, please click it, turn it gray, hit the bell icon for notifications. Like this video. I absolutely love it when you guys like the videos. And like I said, comment. If there's still something you have questions on that I need to do an entire video on, let me know in the comments. If you absolutely loved these tips and they were exactly what you were looking for, let me know as well, because I plan on doing more of these tips videos, because it appears this is what you guys like. So I have no problem making more and more videos on these subjects. Just let me know in the comments on what you're looking for. But yeah, as always, guys, mahalo for watching. Nina out. Bye.